Somebody was mentioning the truth about SM, but isn't it the truth about the world that, narcissists are there? They are watching. They are, they're watching. Yeah, of course, they are, if they're getting information, see, this is the thing is that if they're getting information, real information about themselves, they're not going to like it. Not going to like it. It's just too painful. The truth is that narcissists are living in so much pain that it's really none of anybody's business and not even theirs. But they are living, internalizing memory as identity, and it's very painful memories for most of them. They live a life coming from such abuse, and the thing see, it has to do with boundary breaking. And see, the thing is every single human being has to experience the trauma. It's trauma. Experience is trauma. It's boundary breaking. It's just your growing up. You have to get into. Now you're 3 years old. You realize. They say it's like between 3 and 5. Really, it's anymore. It's almost like 9 now. And not kidding. Wish we were kidding. But really, 5 is when a child is supposedly fully individuated. This means that they have accessed their own mind and they're now exercising their own mind. That's why they're kind of geniuses at that age. They're kind of just, they're not accessing the mind, more so. See, if they're left alone, yes, with the mind to see its nature, now they're entering their awareness into reality. That is a very real mechanical thing that must be happening. Yes, it's tedious to be a human being and have to wade through minds. So you have, at the early age, I mean, listen to the language, mind you, minding your business, but it's like how they say mind your child or something like that, and it's like, well, can you reality your child? I mean, when does that come in, because the fully encapsulated mind is what we're dealing with as far as how that they get locked into the illusion that the mind really is when it doesn't know that it's there, it doesn't know that it doesn't know, it can't ever know. Is the way to know is to become aware and get into the now. Not a coincidence that, see, now this is a controversy, and I've mentioned it before, and for my fans that have heard it before, come on, let's get into it. Why? We know that the K is silent in the word know. No, it's now. The word that's there, the bird in the word, in 2 dimension, a cow or a sheep, sorry. It's cows nowadays. They've got plenty of porpoise. By the way, we're going to the sheeps that would be able to identify the word now in the word know. That also, you would have to take the W away if the K is silent to make it the word no, because we know the word no is no. It means nigh, nah, not. Notice the word not has the word no in it. But for some reason, see, this is the problem. It's like, no, we're doing a little bit of an error in our lingo, and yeah, gaslight. And can we know? No. What is no? It's now. Now is your only supreme understanding. Now. Nowing. See, there is a whole speech about this too. Thanks for following me. It's like this. It's diametrically opposed. Knowing and knowledge, 2 different things. Knowing and knowledge. Oh boy, but is it nowing or knowledge? See, I would say even if the K is silent, until we take the W away, of course it's nowing. We now. But why is there a K there? Well, maybe it has to do with something that we can't see, or let's say something that's silent. The K is found silent for some reason. What is it? This is a real conversation for me, because what does the K represent? What does it look like? What figuratively, I mean, you can say there's an eye there, and then there's an arm there, and then there's a leg, and it's like kicking. It's kicking and punching. It's like, okay, well, whatever that's doing, but we have now. And boy, do we have to be martial artists to get into now? Of course. Woo, martial. Talk about martial, taking your right to remain reality. What's reality, Mommy? Now. You mean you want me to do it now? What other time is there, Billy? Thank you for just saying now nicely, because of course I knew it was now the whole time. I was wondering when all them adults were going to catch up. Really, for me, whoo, 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 we don't live in a world where people have true knowledge, say, from an experience. It comes from real life experiences that you can become knowledgeable, really. You don't just read a book because you're reading somebody else's experiences. It's past tense. Knowledge is past tense from knowing, now. It is. It's past tense. You're grabbing from an experience, whether you're reading it or you have it in you. You really, and I don't know if you are paying attention. You can read the instructions to something all you want, but until you're sitting right there in front of it, and trying to figure out the 1, 2, 3 steps, those instructions aren't really going to connect in. And also, you're more apt to figure it out without the instructions, because that's where it's at. You want to figure it out, or you want to keep fucking reading a goddamn book? Getting back to the diametric opposite of now, and and um and the mind. Your mind must follow something in order for it to be of any use to you and others. And say, if you wanted some knowledge, you're gonna figure something out. Well, start with now, without the K. It's kind of interesting, without the K. No, because can you even know? No, you can't know. You can now, if you want. Well, what about the K? Can I just put the K on it? Sure, then you can now. You can still now. Well, but just because I'm doing this and I'm kicking at it, well, I don't know. Go ahead and have anxiety and everything, but it's always now. Whenever you want to get better at being present to something, you have to figure it out. I mean, whether it's your limbs kicking around, it's interesting. You have anxiety, of course. See, my material, if you are indeed here because you are latching onto the narcissist information, see, that's an elusive word, by the way, narcissist. Guess what we're talking about? We're talking about the mind. We're talking about the fully encapsulated mind, namely, because that's the problem. If there is a problem, it's the mind left unseen by itself. What I mean is, it's the mind is not looking into itself and just acknowledging, oh, see, if there isn't an awareness there, what I mean is, you have your being, your body, your bodily presence. I'm sitting here on my ass, me. I'm acknowledging I have a breath, I have 4 limbs, the whole contraption goes beyond mind. It really does. I just as I'm telling you this as a little secret, I feel complete bliss. I am a bliss body, by the way. There are people, there are minds. People. People are minds, by the way, they don't exist. You can prove that one of these days, really simple, to a 5-year-old, and then they will struggle with you continually. As they do. Thank God for them. We wouldn't have a chance. Anyway, I was onto something. I was talking about the body. Sorry. I'll get my comedy together. I'm definitely not supposed to just hand it to you on a silver platter, babes. You have a profound responsibility to start differentiating the false information field and the true light, what they call it. You can stick with me here, and I'll begin to translate all of this stuff. I'll begin to toss it around, whether we're talking about spirit. If that's a different thing. I found out what spirit is. I explained that on one of my videos. It's just kind of it's like a line. You have a line towards the intelligence field, and you are going along that place, that line that is um, kind of channeling into your awareness intuitively, and however experience you're doing it, but bodily, yes. There are shamans who behave in strange manners. They have a different, slightly different lifestyle than a lot of people, and they help with some things. As far as if it's beyond mind that we need to get into. There's so many different shamans. You are also a shaman if you are just somebody who there's we live on a plane that people are going to start healing. They're going to start getting better. I see something happening where it's like this is really hard to see through how dark humanity has gotten, how grim the face of humanity is, how that you can easily come face to face with, I was going to say, Satan, the demonically possessed, people who are miserable, and now what is it? It's the mind left unseen, and it's horrible because at all costs, if that thing, see, it's an at all costs thing, the way that it operates, um, it won't back down. It won't back down from its ground of saying, no, I am more real than the truth. See, nothing is more real than my anxiety. That's what they're saying. My anxiety, my darkness, there isn't anything more real than my unchanging hell, that I am just shackled and bonded down. Every one of us has a profound responsibility to break free. And if you have done that at any rate, see, a lot of people will do it right before they take their last breath. That's what's called being reborn, by the way. To be reborn away from the mind into the body, the living body of Christ, which lives now. If you've ever gotten into your body and the experience here, babes, this experience is amazing. The fully encapsulated mind doesn't have that feeling of life. See, if we keep pointing at them, which was the beginning of the video, say, well, we don't worry about narcissists watching our material who expose narcissism because it's too painful for them. It hurts a lot of other people who aren't mature enough to understand that you're not really a narcissist. You have traits of narcissism that comes up because you live in a world that forces you to fucking survive in such a way that it's just never enough, and you feel so, and you just might as well be a narcissist. They will turn you into a narcissist. Even worse, if you just cannot find that time. Whatever God it is that you think you found, really it's just, what's the truth in reality? get into your body. Please be careful, man, because these people, they could have been subdued and bodily abuse, geometry knocked off. See, if that's the case, babes, this is what happens: is that they feel it deep down. They feel it deep down that there's something off about them and wrong, and that sends them into a lifetime of um, hate, hatred. It's just, there it is. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry to tell you kids that you have to stay away from many, if not all. Only a few will end up by your side. Having said this, enjoy this beautiful story told by a master. It's a masterpiece. I'm going to stop this at 16:16. Have a beautiful, holy day.